Evening and welcome. This is Strong and Sassy on your Superstation Joy 99.7 FM. Apologies for starting late. Just before us was the message from the John Mahama's running mate. Yeah. All right. So diving straight into our show tonight. Well, first of all, my name is Animwaa Anim-Addo. And I have the usual suspects in the house, Isinam and Aram. Hello, people.
Hello.
Wow, okay. And tonight we're talking about dating a mummy's boy. So just before we started the show, I was asking Aram that, so is this show for the mothers? Is it for the sons? Or is it for the girlfriends? Because I think just generally dating a guy... Like mothers are a problem.
Men are such a chore.
I know, right? I saw there was something in on social media somewhere. I didn't pay attention, but I saw a statistic that says that a marriage's survival, if a marriage will survive, it is like 78% because of how supportive the father-in-law, so like the man's father, is of the marriage, because like he's like the buffer, like he's controlling his wife, keeping his wife away from her son's marriage. I don't know, it made sense to me for some reason. I don't know what you guys think.
Oh, as in he's holding his wife back.
So that his that
how
they are,
good
yes,
he is at it is
how good he is as keeping his wife out of her son's marriage
I
contributes a lot to the success of the
absolutely
marriage.
agree, because removing him from that equation is what makes the mother's presence more felt.
Yes.
Yeah. Got it.
So
I
yeah.
think
What do you think?
From that, I completely agree.
I don't have an opinion,
Why?
because it depends. There are lots of factors here. There are some women who are not interested in their sons' thing. If you don't bring a problem to me, I'm not getting involved. So that doesn't place
Are
them.
there?
Yeah, there are those like
I
that.
think what I would say is that,
Wow.
when a father is not in the picture and the woman has children, automatically in most situations,
Yeah.
the boys start playing that fatherly role, or their mothers begin to lean on them in that perspective. So now if he has siblings, it's going to be him taking care of his mom and then his siblings. And you know how when boys are growing up, they will always tell them that you are the man of the house. So once the father is out of that picture, now the woman, he steps into that role. So then you help your mom take care of your siblings, vice versa. So they also develop that bond. Now this son is grown and he's now seeing another woman, and he has to build his own family. Breaking that bond is what becomes the problem that we face most of the time. Now it also depends on the character of the mom versus the son. There are some people, and for some people they're able to handle it well, others don't. There are some mothers who are also very intrusive, and we see it when he's an only son, when he's the first son. That's when those situations are very prevalent. When the mother also doesn't remarry, so he doesn't have anyone. You two are coming to take his only son.
Yeah.
What should she do?
Yeah, I get that. Anyway, so we're talking about dating a mummy's boy today. Definition of mummy's boy. How about we start with that?
Defining
Who is a mummy's boy? Oh, what does that show up like in a relationship?
If you want the very literal translation of mommy's boy, like literal definition of mommy's boy, is somebody who is unusually close to the mom, and the mom also has an unusually closeness to the son. So the key word here is unusual. It is okay for a mother to love the son. It's okay for the son to love the mother, but when the son's every move is controlled by the mother, like the son is basically, Crispy's terms, whims and caprices. These are the whims and caprices of the mom. The mom says jump, he will ask how high, sit in which chair. It's just somebody who is being controlled manipulated and things by the mom. There's another definition for mommy's boy. Somebody who just loves the mom. That one today. Somebody who just loves the mom and prioritizes the mom for some one reason or the other. One of the reasons could be what Aram said, with the loss of a father, with the loss of his mom's husband.
So having to step into that role.
He tends to fill that void of being the person or his mom's personal person, which leads him to be a mommy's boy. And then there's the because she's helped me, because she's been there for me. Between my mom and my dad, she's been there for me more, so she is my mom and she's my personal person. So there's that closeness too. But then me too my best show the no. That's the problematic one.
Okay. What's a mommy's boy for you?
Just like Islam said, someone who has a very intimate relationship. If we can use the word intimate relationship with their mom, where there are no boundaries.
I think the thing for me is, so I have a son, so I get the love and the all of that, but I feel like it becomes a problem when like every decision he has to check in.
Yes,
with his mom.
Independence? Where's the line?
Yeah.
And there are certain things that you come to your mom about, and then there's certain things that you need to make that decision. So for me, where there is no boundary, where even when we're together, you need to check in with. And we're gonna go into that. I have experienced some very, very interesting people.
Oh, tell us about
with
it.
Very interesting relationships with their mom. I have a couple of stories, but let me start with this. So I was kind of sort of talking to this guy, and there was a major.
What's this kind of sort of?
Hey, and then bring Gen Z talk.
Like, were you talking or not?
I said, Aram there, she's a zillennial. She's a Gen Z and millennial.
Exactly.
She's a zillennial.
I'm a Gen Z.
It's okay. You kind of talking, kind of.
So we were talking,
and
there was a major decision that he had to take. It was more like about career path and all of that. And so I was like, okay, what are you going to do? He's like, okay, I need to do this. So I was talking to his best friend. I was like, oh, me and this person was discussing this. He said, I have to be honest with you. I'm like, well, he said he will have to talk to his mom about it. If his mom says he shouldn't change, forget about what you said. It's not going to happen.
You see, this is the question. So the input of a mother is, depending on the kind of mother, is very irreplaceable in a certain way.
Absolutely.
The input of a wife, the same. Because these are like the two major women in your life. You came out of one and you are being sustained in one.
And somebody from
figuratively and literally. I know you got that. But at which point does the switch occur? Because if I need to move, I need to make a major decision, I want to talk to my mom about it, but you're not my wife yet.
I can understand
No,
that.
then there's you have to be your own man first. So when the transition period is when you become your own man, then you choose a wife.
Yes, but you
get it. So first of all, you
counsel. Is it bad
of course,
for
first
you
of all,
to say that?
First of all, you have to become your own man. Have your own mind, your own way of processing things. You take advice in your processing of things. You take counsel. So even if you are marrying or you are getting somebody to spend the rest of your life with, the person is not coming to replace your mom. The person will also come as their own human being with their own additions to your life based on the values you cherish, and that is what you saw.
Can I ask you a realistic question?
Yeah.
Most men, and not all.
Some.
Let's say some, not even most. It's more okay. Some. Do. There's some, no. Do men? Some men get to the point where they make decisions for themselves?
Oh yes. Oh yes. There are like emotionally intelligent people. There are some men who are very, very emotionally intelligent, very intuitive, very grounded and connected with themselves. They have the awareness. They know how to choose. There are men who have decided to do the work on themselves.
What percentage?
I may not know the percentage.
And
I don't have an idea.
Honestly, to be honest, is small. Let's be honest, especially
in this part
like
of our world. Yes,
that's what I
in
mean.
this
Because
part of
I feel
our
like
world,
if a man is not listening to his mother, then he's listening to his wife or he's listening to his
But
side
then
chick.
let's look at it from this perspective.
no, he could listen to himself.
Yeah, how rare is that?
But
though?
you know what? One thing we're also not looking at is sometimes this man or this man finds himself in an impossible situation.
Like what?
Wait, and we also need to understand, like you were saying, he came out of one and is being sustained by one. So
Then
the man
turned
is in
into
a limbo.
He's not in a limbo. He has come out. He
Now
doesn't
there's
have any
the phrase
business
about leaving and cleaving.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into the Bible, you need to leave and cleave to your wife. But then there's that period where you don't have a wife, like you mentioned. But you see, you need to, what Esinam is saying now, you need to come to the place where you are a man of your own, even before you become a husband. You don't become a husband by just putting on the ring. So there's a place where you need to cut that umbilical cord. And that's what most people don't have.
The cutting of the umbilical cord.
You need to let your mom know this is where you stop and end. So it's a personal decision. If you don't have that boundary with your mother, then it will be a problem in your marriage.
I don't think anybody is even going to say that don't take advice from your mom or like don't consult your mom on things that are important to you. But
So she doesn't have sense.
But let's say there are like crucial life decisions you can consult, get her, your mom's thoughts, your mom, and mind you, just because she's a mom doesn't mean she's right all the time.
True.
She's going to look out for your best interest. Obviously, she's going to do anything she can to protect you from any sort of harm, any sort of danger.
And anything that she
perceives as danger.
That's the problem.
Yes.
Because it may not be a problem, but because she thinks it's
exactly. And if you have a mom
problem.
who is anxious, and in this part of our world, I guarantee you, 80% of our moms are anxious.
What is she anxious about?
Women are generally.
I don't understand.
Like, what
do
are
you
you
have
anxious
kids?
about?
Do you
Your
have
child
kids?
is a man. Where is the
when you
anxiety
have
coming
kids,
from?
your protective instincts go through the roof. Even when you see something that's not even
high blood pressure.
Yes, exactly,
But
because
I
they worry
think
about a lot of things. They worry.
Do you think that mothers worry about their sons more than their daughters?
Yes.
Why? Because they don't raise their sons well.
Oh, calm down.
No, it's true, because and then we end up suffering because people didn't raise their children properly.
So now I'm raising your adult son and you will still not let me raise him.
Exactly, but we raise our daughters to be strong, independent, able to do this, and we raise our sons like, oh, if they lift a finger in the house, something will happen to them. And if they do, and then now he's 35 or 36 and you are worried about him making good decisions, but you're not worried about your daughter making good decisions because you trained her to make good decisions. That's why I get upset about this sometimes.
It is true anymore. What you are saying is valid. You are right. There are people who have spoiled their children, and so they cannot rest if they are not involved, because they know that if I leave
children don't have sense.
If I leave you, there's no brakes on this car. This car can go and go and go and go and go, and we don't know where it will end. You get. But there are those who have also taken their time to train their male children. There are some men who have minds of their own. There are some men who even if you didn't have it, life will whip it into you. And if you are intuitive enough, and if you have a goal, you have a certain plan, you could do it. You could get to the point where you take ownership of yourself and your maturity, and then you make the decisions accordingly. But then there are the mothers who force their will on their kids. So there are some kids who don't even want to be mommy's boys, but the mother would be, they are overbearing, yes, emotionally manipulative. If you don't come, I will cry. If you don't come, I'll kill myself. Like there are some women who actually do those things to emotionally manipulate their kids to live wherever they are. Because I watched a certain movie. The woman will intentionally fake a certain kind of cough. That cough, the son has studied it to know that this is one of her fake coughs. But when she does, it means that she needs attention. There are those type of mothers. They exist, And if you end up dating a son from a mother like that, the son is constantly having to choose between you and their mom.
I was having lunch with my father, and we were talking about a guy. My dad and I were having a conversation because he wanted to know what I was doing.
Don't we all?
So I was telling him about this.
Don't we all? Around.
This guy, and I said, if I have to marry this guy, he needs to come with a maid if we get married. But I was like, he's too close with his mom. Like, he has to run everything by her. Like, we need to find a way to break that. If not, this is going to be a problem, because, and you know, that forces most women to have to now buddy up to your mom. Your mom has to like me. If your mom doesn't like me, what would we do? You understand? Like,
I know.
And so that makes it difficult. But I think for those who are listening to her, whether you're a mom, a son who has this interesting relationship with your mom, I think that what we're trying to say is that there needs to come a point where you start making those decisions on your own, where you start creating boundaries for your mother so that it doesn't affect the relationship in the long run. Because if you find yourself, even you will be stressed having to balance this my mom and my wife situation, where does it end? Then you become stressed.
And because I can guarantee you, a woman who is manipulating her son is in competition with the wife.
And how can I compete with your mom? Like, you
I
see,
mean, I can, but don't want to.
I mean, you will lose.
Exactly.
Not always.
You will lose,
Not
but most of the time,
always.
the struggle is not even worth it. That's my point.
Well, sometimes it is.
Why?
Because you are
in what
rescuing him
circumstances?
from the
Like
bounds.
under what circumstances
You are
is
the
it
one who
worth
says
it?
you have a son. Somebody's coming to wrestle with
My
you.
son will need rescue.
Wrestle with flesh and blood.
Exactly. So I feel like you need to. That will come from you.
So would you give up a good relationship because of mommy issues?
Yes, I can't fight your mom. If you, and you see, it's not something I can do. You need to stand. So that's your character. If you can't stand and make that decision and be like, Mom, this is the no-go area for you, and tell your mom that, who am I? Because it's like my father coming into our house to tell you what to do. There needs to be boundary. I need to be able to talk to my father and let him know that I know you love me, but I have to do this myself. So you need to be able to speak to your mom. I don't know your mom from a can of paint. If it's not you, what's my business with your mother? So you need to rein your mother in. That's your job, not mine.
Right.
But it mostly starts with them downplaying. Oh, she's just joking. Oh, she's not serious.
Exactly.
Oh, like, and it's for some men, they don't see the effects their mom is having on their relationship. They don't see it. They can, and to some of them, their mothers can do no wrong.
Exactly. How
in
can
their
I fight
eyes. Like, she's the angel. She's actually the most perfect human being I've ever seen in my life. She gave me life. She raised me. She's been there for me.
Especially if she's a single mother.
She's
then
been
it's like
there for me. She's sacrificed.
Saint Joan
And you
of
know,
Arc.
in Ghana, the way we glorify suffering.
Pain and suffering.
Oh, she was there for me when
she
nobody
carried
was.
me on her back and walked 500
How
miles.
do you-
The Chaco Celeste son.
How do you compete with that?
You can't.
So till that man becomes a man who acknowledges that, yes, my mother did great for me, I appreciate her, but no, she doesn't control me as a result. Till you are that person, I don't think I can be in a relationship with that kind of man.
Go ahead.
You know, like how people always say, oh, how someone treats their mom or their sisters and all, like, and this thing we're saying, it can also be like a sibling thing, but we're focusing on the mom thing, right? What we're trying to say is that it's not that we are saying don't have a relationship or have a good relationship with your mom, but boundary is key, because that's not a battle you can realistically win.
Yeah.
And the mother will also have support of the rest of the family.
Yeah.
So now you are the bad wife.
bad person.
Oh, you know, and there are extreme cases. Oh, since you got married, you don't come and visit. You don't this.
Yeah.
There's some people who will close from work or whatever and go and eat in their mother's house
Before they come home.
And there are those who will blame their they'll blame their son's unavailability on you. Like, you are the reason he doesn't come to see me anymore. You are the reason he doesn't buy us stuff like he used to. You have now seized all his money. You have now seized all his time and attention.
Wow.
Like, it's like if you are for some people too who are big into family and legacy,
Yeah.
It's a whole...
it's like if you're going to marry Tommen Baratheon, you're gonna have Cersei Lannister to deal with.
I know,
you
right?
know, like
it's like yeah.
And there's some mothers who go to the extent because of that level of manipulation, they want to pick the woman.
I was just gonna say
they want to pick
because they want to pick a woman they can manipulate.
They can control.
So,
yes.
Oh, I'm my friend's daughter. Because they've built that rapport, so they want a woman that they can manipulate. Instead of allowing their son to pick the wife, and most people are suffering because their mom picked the wife. And now they don't know what to do with her because it wasn't.
I remember that I was dating a guy, and every time we would go out to dinner or something, when we get there, his mom would call and say, "Oh, where are you?" Then so maybe we're honeysuckle. She's like, "Oh, bring me chicken wings when you come back." But I sleep by 10. So already, like, she has closed the dates. Like, you know what I mean? And I found that so manipulative because what if we were going to be out till midnight?
No, she needs to eat her chicken wings.
Like, send your driver. You know what I mean? Or order on Bold's food. But no, because
but you're coming from there. We live in the same house.
Yes, but it's fine. But then you are saying that it's not that bring me this when you're coming back. It is the fact that I sleep by 10.
No, tomorrow that you.
So come early.
Like, so bring it because I want to eat before I sleep.
Any days you are time
I have this situation where this guy like will be and they'll call. What do you want to eat? And like the way, and sometimes how someone is treated in their home or how they were raised affects how they show up as the adults that they are, right? And so this guy, he always wants to be pampered and stuff. I'm like, brother, this is not your mother's house. This is not your father's. Like, wake up. And you see, being a mommy's boy, you show up in life in certain ways. Okay. Some of them show up with some level of entitlement, expecting that, this is how my mother cooks, or this is how they treat me. This is wake up and smell the coffee.
Not happening here.
It's not happening.
So I pulled a stunt one time.
Tell us about it.
And it wasn't a stunt, but it was somewhere in the past, and this person's mom said, I'm not feeding them well. So when they close from work, they should come home and come and eat before they come home.
Wow.
And I said, that is fine. So she called me to tell me that, like, this is what she wants. So I said, that's perfect. So when he comes, please pack mine for me because shut down complete in the house. So when he gets there and he texts, I'm at my mom's, and I'll call her to remind her that I am waiting for mine as well. I think it happened like 2 days and that was the end.
Yeah, because if you're...
But I'm sure she was like, I'm not coming to feed you out of the venom of I will feed you.
And for me, if I'm with someone whose mom wants to be that, like, coming to cook, let your mom take over the cooking. So when you go there, just make sure you bring enough food for us. Because you've taken off like half of my stress when it comes to the cooking. And if she wants to add doing your laundry too, that is amazing. You and your mom go and have the time of your life. And I will also be here having the time of my life, or call my dad and we can also hang. Two can play this game.
So how about if like maybe his mom is old and bored?
Get her nurse.
Or is it okay to offload some of the responsibility to her?
Which of the responsibilities?
I don't know, like maybe ironing or...
Ironing what? Ironing. He can't iron his own clothes.
I mean, she's bored, or saying that, or maybe she's like the famous okra soup maker and jollof maker of the family. So she should make, so, mom, that's what I mean, like, offloading, giving her some...
I mean, of course, like, it's not bad to have her play an active role in your life. So you're not saying that... cast her away and put her aside, but limit the kind of involvement that the person has, because it's not, the person may be your mom, but they may use their hands to destroy your relationship.
And that also happens
because again, she will always be on the side of her son.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
99%.
And especially when you need, or let's say when you need somebody to objectively listen and give a very
objective advice.
Honest advice that
she has to be very enlightened to be able to do that.
She has to be very
aware and be able
very
to
aware
her son to say you are this, you are like, stop that.
Yes.
You know, the worst ones are people who insist that maybe their mom should counsel them.
For what?
Before they get married.
Who does that?
You'll be surprised.
Are you making this up?
I am not making this up.
Like your mom should counsel you?
Yes. We are talking about a mommy's boy. Like everything is. There are people whose moms took over their weddings. Because it's her son. You are marrying her son. And
so she's counseling you on what?
For the wedding. And make sure.
I wouldn't mind if I was getting married. I wouldn't mind sitting down with my
mother-in-law,
my future mother-in-law, to have a conversation on her perception of his upbringing.
Absolutely.
Because I think that could be enlightening for me to understand, certain things.
That conversation.
But marriage counseling,
you'll be surprised. And some people, their house is it's like a police station. Everything, they will go and report you. You will be summoned to come and explain yourself.
To his mom?
Yes.
Hey.
Shit.
Wow. People do that? I thought it's the other way. Like if you're the husband and I'm the wife and I do something, you won't report me to my mom. You report me to your mom.
It shock you.
Wow. Would you go?
It depends on the issue. It depends on the issue.
Possible issue would you?
If it's an issue that I think should remain between the two of us and you go and tell them, I won't go.
Oh yeah. And I think that personally also, as women, as we're in,
because if I don't enforce the boundary
exactly
will never be.
Yeah.
So I think that what you can also do if you're dating somebody like that is, like Esinam said, enforce your own boundaries. And I have this like rule where if we cannot resolve our own conflicts.
Rule number 5.
Yes. If we cannot resolve our own conflicts, you know me. If we cannot resolve our conflicts, we shouldn't be together. So if there are certain conversations or issues that goes to your mom.
Wait, say that again.
If we can't resolve our conflicts just between the two of us, we shouldn't be together. Certain conversations shouldn't get to your mom.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Like, let's say
there are some conflicts that are bigger than.
Yes.
But
certain things.
Fundamentally, we should be able to resolve conflicts to get to the point of I understand you, or I am sorry, or let's agree to disagree.
You see, the problem with that is that depending on who you are with, he will learn to say I'm sorry to resolve the conflict. But there are also some things that, okay, maybe I'm taking it to a different, because I think that it's not every conflict that can be resolved within the two.
Okay.
Depending on the root of the conflict, if there's trauma involved, the level of self-awareness, the level of work that has been done, sometimes you may need an objective, sensible, outside of the family person to counsel.
Yes, so the key is counsel, but the conflict will still have to be resolved by the two of us.
After the counsel. My fear with what Aram was saying is that, okay, if the two of us cannot understand each other completely or something, then we shouldn't be together.
Wait, so I'm saying this because one thing most times people forget is our coming together before the parents and everybody else came in was us. If we hadn't met and decided that we wanted to be together, there will be no your mom and all other people getting into the situation. So let's say if it's something that has to do with, like, if people are married and there's like a sexual something, why are you going to tell your mother? Because your mother's come and tell me.
No, I don't think you should tell your mom. But imagine if we got married and I'm the woman and I never told you I was raped. So depending on how you approach me, I feel threatened. But I haven't healed from it enough to not feel the shame to be able to tell you. Does it not make sense to then leave a little bit of space that there may be situations like this where I may actually need to go and have therapy or something and kind of get to the point where...
It depends on the conflict.
Okay, but you didn't say that in the beginning. You were very, like, a non-negotiable. If we can't solve problems by ourselves, then it's a red flag.
I still stand on what your Aram is saying. If we can't resolve a conflict.
I completely disagree with
However, mine is, we can seek outside counsel, and the keyword is counsel. We can hear other opinions.
That means that you actually agree with me.
I am agree with both of you. I'm combining both your ideas into one. There's no combination. You're not saying different things. You're all saying the same thing.
We're not.
Okay, next.
There's no stress.
Conflict.
I can't resolve this conflict. I can't resolve this conflict with him, so I cannot be with it.
Let me take. Should I take a few messages?
Yeah, let's do that.
I didn't mean personal messages.
But you are doing the person.
You are coming to judge somebody.
I am coming for you. Yes.
Wow. The research is highly true. I experienced it myself in my first marriage, the current one. My mother wanted to control the situation, but my father never allowed it. With the current one, my father would even give clues and serious info to my wife. We have survived this current marriage as a result of my father's forceful input.
That's interesting. I like that.
Yeah,
so that supports the point we made at the beginning.
At the beginning, that fathers sometimes,
absolutely.
Because generally fathers-in-law are nicer.
No, fathers-in-law are dope.
Why are mothers-in-law like that?
Because that's what mothers be doing.
And the thing is, we are treating. Why do we treat like your son? You know this woman is suffering because this is your son. But you insist on being not nice. Why?
But if I don't want to be biased, but I feel like if I know an objective mom when it comes to their relationship with their wives, it's my mom. She's probably more intrusive in my sister's marriage than she is with her son's marriage. I'm not even gonna lie. Because my mom is those people that prize themselves on. I know my children. So if an issue comes,
she knows.
Say that.
Yeah. It's like when my daughter comes to tell me a story, I'm like, this is all you.
Be like, that my son. Yeah,
this is all. I mean, objective parents. Anyway, hello Nima. But it is said that the way a guy will treat his wife depends on how he relates or treats his mother. I don't know if I agree because you've come out of one portal and are being sustained by another. So did you want to say something?
And it depends on the sustenance. It depends on the sustenance. And sometimes because the sustenance is no good, that's why you want to go back to
where the portal that you came from. Yes, indeed.
So I feel like the quality of wife or partner that you are also would determine whether that bond breaks. Because if you're a terrible partner, he would rather hang out with his mom than hang out with you. So the kind of partner you are, so maybe people need to check that. Like, why is my husband or partner not cutting that umbilical cord? Maybe check how you relate to him. If he's having more fun hanging out with his mom than you,
and she's more of his friend
than you are.
Yeah. So
that's when I will agree that you should then lean into the mother and say, how is your son, and get some insights. But then both the mother and the son themselves need to have a conversation like, okay, now I'm going this way, so there needs to be a line. Don't be calling me at midnight unless it's an emergency.
Why would you call your son at midnight?
You'd be surprised. Let's continue.
To say what?
Maybe it's an emergency. Maybe I like
only emergencies.
I'm not feeling.
This is
I
not
can't
an
breathe.
emergency.
Maybe she's not well. She can call her son at
midnight.
midnight.
We've seen those weird Nigerian movies where the mom will be sitting in the hall and or be spying through the door and seeing what they are doing because the child is not coming. Some moms are weird.
Wow.
Anxiously attached to their kids.
Yeah, anxiously attached completely. Good evening, Animwaa and Strong and Sassy crew. I watched my mother handpick a maid and made her my brother's wife. Wow. Long story short, this decision brought her the greatest regret. The woman is showing her some shaggy in the house. Now she's putting all the anger on the rest of us. Me, I had to run away from home. Any mother who makes that mistake, she'll be telling her story in years to come. That's Atu from Bolgatanga. Ibeni.Beda says, this mommy's boy situation mostly common when the boy is an only son, when the dad is either late or is not in their lives as a dad should. And mom has literally been a dad and mom at the same time from infancy. I bet this bond can't be easily broken. This son will keep running back into mommy's hands and be expecting their girlfriends to be like their mom. In extreme cases, you'll find out that mom and son are even dating. At this point, it has collected hands. But you know, the other thing that's really nice is when you have a really great relationship with your husband's mom.
Absolutely.
If she's a good person, you're a good person. That kind of bond is great.
Yeah, because then she's kind of like your second mom in a way.
As it should. That should
As
be
it
the
should.
norm.
Yeah.
I want to be able to see my husband and my dad be hanging out, or like I need to be able to say, oh, I'm going to lunch with your mom, or I'm going out to dinner with your mom. Like, that's fun.
I mean, because at the end of the day, you're my children's grandparents.
Exactly.
So, you know, anyways.
And I should be able to, like, it goes beyond that. You leaving your kids, you having your kids around. I should be able to trust you.
Yeah.
Because you're a good mom. No.
The ones that kill me are the ones who come and do the, what's it called? When you have a baby and they come.
Yes.
And then they're so critical.
Yes, your wife doesn't do this. Your wife doesn't do that. Do you want your
We've
son
been
back?
managing in peace before you came.
It's called there's some Nigerian
or something.
I remember some movie be. Anyway, some of us men make majority of decisions on our own. I may listen to advice from other people, including my mother or my partner, but ultimately I make that best decision for me. A man of substance should be able to decipher manipulation from anyone, including your own mother and your partner. You must be your own man always, even amongst your friends. Initially, some people may call you stubborn or conceited, but deep down they respect you. Some may tell you eventually how they admire and respect your strength. If you don't do this, you will eventually be run over by these same people and they'll disrespect you.
Absolutely.
Vincent, thank you for that. When a child grows into an adult, input from parents becomes suggestions and dialogue when need be. If it makes sense, apply it. If not, spin it. You'll forever be your parents' child. However, when you grow, you become the adult child, not a baby. At that stage, how many parents transition to understand their child is now a full-grown adult, must be given room to live. A lot of people just grow in numbers and not in the brain. That's an accuracy. You know, I don't know if you know this writer. He's called the Prophet Khalil Gibran. And he has he writes on different things, and he wrote on children. And it was something that I think today is the day. It shaped how I wanted to raise my children. He said that the parents are like a bow and children are the arrow. So, you know, you pull back the bow and you shoot the arrow forward, knowing that your children are going into a place that you will never go into. So you can't try to make them live their lives backwards, like they are living, or you're living your life through them.
Their dreams through them.
You know, but actually that they are going, you know, forward. And so I think in parenting, as much as there's a lot of involvement, there must also be a certain degree of separation.
Absolutely.
And let them chart their own path. I think if mothers do that for their daughters, but they don't do it for their sons.
I completely agree with you, because some mothers, like you said, the standard is not the same. So mothers let their sons get away with certain things, but as like the bar is so high for the daughters, and so you end up raising a daughter who is now raising another person's child. You are my partner. And that's why I have this phrase for some people where I call them a man child. Like you are a man child.
Yeah.
You cannot, at 30 something, you should not be doing something sporty.
Okay, so let's bring all of this to a point. How do you identify a mommy's boy in a sexy, well-built, tall, handsome body?
I need to call my mom. I go home. My
Frequent
mom made dinner.
referrals to their mom. Like, that is the biggest giveaway. Like Hiram is saying, oh, let me call my mom. I need to ask my mom. My mom said she was gonna get me my mom said my boxers are too worn out, so I need to replace them. My mom said that I can't go to this place.
My mom make dinner. If I don't eat it, she'll be angry with me.
Yeah, my mom said that come and see her. She has something to. Everything my mom said. When the conversation is all about their mom, what their mom says, what their mom thinks, how their mom behaves, what their mom taught them, over and over and over again. You see, there's a point where frequency becomes crazy. That is the point where you know that you are dealing with your mothers. But that is even extreme cases, because those people give themselves up. There are some silent, deadly ones who you will not know that they are mommy's boy. So you go a bit deeper with them, and based on how they reason and what they go to their mother for, or what their mother comes to them for. So you can see a mother's boy by how their mother relates with them. First of all, you know the number of times he calls his mom, how many times does he call his mom in a day? If you are with somebody who is texting their mom every minute, calling their mom 6 a.m. in the morning, 6 p.m. in the evening, every day of the week, what is it?
What is the problem?
What is it?
I want to talk to my mommy.
Because of why? Morning and evening.
2 morning, 2 afternoon, 2 evening.
Oh yeah, pill. Oh yeah, antibiotics.
Wow, but women talk to their moms that much sometimes.
No, I don't talk to my
no.
much.
Animwaa, between you, how many times do you talk to your mother in a week?
I'm not a good example of.
Hey Ram, how many times do you talk to your mom in a given week?
It's not giving.
I think maybe in a good week once.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which is reasonable.
As an adult.
Let's even say once a day or once every 2 days. It's okay. But morning, afternoon, evening, slightest inconvenience, my mom. Slightest. It's
My
like
mom
they
says
go
the
to
lights
their
are
mom
off.
for,
So what? Are you
for
receiving?
virtually everything. The moms also come to the son for virtually everything. You can see that there are some moms that are overbearing who call you so many times. How is the son responding to it? That's what will also tell you whether he's a mommy's boy
I
or
used to
not.
know someone whose mom was literally bleeding him financially. So,
Wow.
like every month, you know, there are some people who put their parents on stipends, right? So I give her money for this. Like 2 weeks, she'll come for money for something. Or I want money for this. So it's not just that, but that eventually affects your finances, right? So now you are married or you have a partner, you're trying to build something. Once your mother says that you have some money, no, she'll come up with
So
something.
your mother should be broke.
No. My mother should stay
She's
on
suffered
budget.
to put you in school.
What
So
about
that
my
you will
life
get
now?
enough to take care of her.
Exactly.
What about my life now? I have a family. I should use all my money to take
Which
care
is
of
flawed reasoning, by the way.
Exactly. So boundaries is the way to go.
Yeah. So that's how you know them. Basically,
Wow.
by how you just be observant and just watch how they relate to their mom, you will know.
My mommy says.
So can you fix a mommy's boy?
It is not your duty to fix anybody.
Oh, you know what I mean.
If you cannot, that's the underlying principle. It is not your
No,
duty.
so let's say you
to
meet
fix
someone, he's a
anybody.
mommy's boy. Okay. Innocently, life has taken them through the mill, so they are close. He hasn't maybe had anybody actually point out that this is not exactly appropriate.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you say that you won't point it out or you won't
I don't
talk
think
about
that he
it?
is
Or-
a lost case.
I'm not the person who bring you the light, who turn you to Christ.
Esinam.
I'm
Are
sorry.
you serious?
I am not the one. I go and let somebody fix you, and then I'll come back for the fixed version. I'm sorry, I don't have the energy for it.
Esinam is at that place in her life.
I
and
don't
she's
have the
she's
energy
not
for it.
doing
I'm
but
sorry.
Then what I'll say is that try and build a relationship with the mom. Right? So the only time where I'll say it will be unfixable is if you try to build a relationship with the mom and she's probably fighting it. So it's you have to pick your battles. You can't be in conflict with your partner's mom every day. So there are some times you would want to do certain things. You would have to give that leeway just so there's space. So for me, I would say it's about picking and choosing your battle depending on if you're married.
Why are you in
it's
a battle
difficult.
in the first place? why are you wrestling
Because
against flesh
life-
and blood when Bible told you we wrestle not against flesh and blood?
Come
Why?
Seriously.
Why? Avoid the battle.
We
Remove
cannot
yourself
avoid
from
the
that
battle. You
situation.
have fallen down flat, so you cannot avoid this battle.
Kelvin boy, Busiafo.
Like, I don't understand Esinam. It's like, no, I will not talk. I will not lift a finger. I won't.
I'm not doing.
I don't have the energy. People change when they want to. If the best you can do is to bring the person's attention to this problem, and then they will change if they want to change.
That's what I said, oh.
Yes, but why would I want to put myself in a situation where I have to wait for you to have the awareness to even understand what I'm talking about? Because some people will even fight you.
Yeah, but maybe you have the conversation. He's like, oh wow, yeah, that's actually true.
And how many are they? You yourself, we had this conversation in the beginning. What percentage?
So
are
for you,
they?
it's like, no, red flag, I'm out.
Yes, please.
Oh no, for me it's not like a billboard kind of red flag. If there's an attempt to resolve the issue, i.e., befriend the mother, bring the issue to his attention, and give him examples where he chooses, and let him know that, listen, you need to do something about
I've not
this.
seen an Ajubojam before.
What is
Wow. Honestly, these people are terrible. High-waisted. Oh my God. Anyway, I think that's it from us. Faustina is here. She's bringing us the 8 o'clock news. But thanks, guys. I think it was a good one. So either be like Asinam and
Run as far as you can.
or be like Aram and
Stay and fix it.
try?
stay and try to fix. So at which point will you say you are done?
Oh, when you know that the battle is lost, you know.
When it gets to a certain, but you'll be tired, you'll be invested.
It's a quicksand, though.
You'll be heartbroken.
It is
Because
quicksand.
if you lose, it's a
Extend
lot.
grace. Extend grace.
You keep going down.
But how about extending grace to yourself by not putting yourself through?
Oh, but so all the mummies boy, nothing for them.
Something something
Something small for
the
the boys. Something small for the mummies.
Bye,
boys.
guys.
Anyway, thank you guys for staying tuned in. If you missed any part of it, we were live on Facebook, so you can catch us there. My name is Animwaa Anim-Addo. Thank you to Aram and to Isin. I'm handing over to Auntie Fosti for the 8 o'clock news.